Today we are going to be talking about absolute min and maxes. And let me draw some example. Now, absolute minimums and maximums, it means that for an absolute minimum, it means it's the lowest point you'll ever see in the quadratic. So that means for the minimum, it means it's the lowest it can be. It's the lowest point you'll ever see in the quadratic, because you can see the rest of these points go up. This one stays at the bottom. It's always going to stay there forever. It's absolute. It's exactly the lowest point. So it's an absolute. Now, what about the maximum? Well, it's the highest point on the graph. It's the maximum. And that means it's an absolute maximum. Because it's the highest point. All these where the arrows go, it's going all the way down. Meanwhile, this one's just the highest it can be. Now we're going to get on to relatives. Now, a relative means that it's a point on the graph that's low or high, but it's not actually the highest point on the graph or the lowest point on the graph. Now, for the minimums, the minimum's right here and right here. But is it the highest point? No. That means it's not an absolute minimum. But instead, it's a relative. It means it's a low minimum, but it's not the lowest minimum there is. And now let's look at the maximums. There's two maximums in this one. In this curve, in this curvature. And like I said, with the minimum, it's not the highest point. It's not the highest maximums. It's not the highest point there is, because we have these arrows that go up. But it is a high point, so that's why they call it a relative. It's somewhere in between, but it's not there yet. It's just a high point. Just like the minimums, it's just a low point. But they're still considered in key features. And I hope this helped you. Please contact me if you do need help more.